Hi everyone, I'm Dolly Mehra. So, to continue the chapter 5, Why Do the Right Thing book. So, chapter 5 is based on getting high. What kind of life do you want? So, let's start. We were hotting with laughter, unable to talk as we gasped for air, slapped our knees, and wiped our smiling eyes. Five adults acting like a school children sitting around a large living room, snuggled under the blanket, eating chocolates and playing a card game that involved finishing sentence with the silly answers. Not a drop of alcohol in the house, not a whiff of pot, no party drugs at all. Simply friends joking, high on nothing heavier than humor, affection, and sugar. A couple of dozen folks on a summer night relaxing under the spreading oak trees. Stomachs full after the dinner outdoors. Two people had guitars. One has the harmonica and other has the some musical instruments. We all had voices, some trained and lovely, some raw and interesting, some shy, to sing songs old and new. We had been swimming in the hot afternoon, and now, in the darkening evening, we zipped up jackets, wrapped sleepy toddlers in shawls, and setting contentedly onto blankets in a large circle. In the middle, young children trilled with a abandon. Teenagers sat slightly apart by a fire, chatting and poking the flames one by one. We took turns, each person either leading a song, reciting a poem, telling a story, or passing their turn to someone else. No alcohol, no drugs again. On the rooftop patio, a dozen of us separated for a couple of years and happy to be together at last. Pill tables with fresh tortillas, rice beans, and saffron laced pella, soda, cold tea, or water clinked against the ice cube in our glasses. As the sun dipped below the ocean in the distance, we watched the color spread across the sky and raised to our toast to the friendship. Again, alcohol. Again, no alcohol, no drugs. So, these people and the countless more around the world have created the life that does not use intoxicants to relax, celebrate our deals with stress because of practical experiences, religious beliefs, spiritual practice, or health reasons. They don't use drugs or alcohol. They are not interested in drinking or getting stoned on high on one thing or another. Sometimes people make the choice to avoid all the intoxicants because of the hard life experience. Maybe they have lived with a parent who is addicted. They know the people who are addicted are not bad or evil people. They know the addiction is a disease that needs help and the right treatment. No judgment. But they have also seen that it is a disease that can drain lives. For the children of the people suffering from the addiction, these are the support groups to help them finding their bearings. Sometimes people make the choice to avoid the all intoxicants because of one traumatic events. A drunk driver, a crash, the death of a friend. Sometimes it does not take such a trauma to push a people into that choice. The memory of a one party, a few too many drinks, the mind spinning out, and some regrettable words and embarrassing action can be enough. Choices. But not everyone makes a choice to avoid all alcohol and drugs. That can seem like a pretty extreme choice. Lots of our people only drink occasionally and in the moderation, and their lives are not torn apart are not these are not their smart people who drink and don't drive, are not there good and interesting people who enjoy sipping a little wine but don't overindulge? What is the path you want to take? Would you prefer to be a person who consume alcohol and on occasion rather than the someone who simply never drinks? Either way, your choice will have consequences. Will it have more advantages than disadvantages? Sure, you are aware of the most extreme and the scaring consequences of the drug and alcohol. The popular culture actively promotes the elegant glow of wine, the fun loving buzz of beer, all good times. However, the reality looks very different than the advertisement. The reality has the consequences, and those consequences can be scary. But you know that you have taken classes, listened to the podcast, seen social media's post, and probably have heard plenty of the lecture from the teachers and the parents about the negative effects of the drug and the alcohol. Hangovers, depressions, rain friendship, unwanted pregnancies, lack of the concentration. Still, the pull from the other people and from the media can be a very strong. Can you use intoxicants to ease social media interaction, intensify friendship, and create intimacy without any of those extreme consequences? Family demands, career, and school pressures, grieving, financial worries, loneliness. It's normal to look for a quick way to escape these burden, even only for a few hours. Unfortunately, that quick way sometimes makes things worse. Obvious truth, using drugs and alcohol to avoid our problems does not make them go away. The haze of drug and the alcohol slides away and the problem still there. Only we are less and the less able to deal it. The reality is that intoxicants can create a sense of dullness, of not dealing with the life directly, of taking the edge off, and of not facing the reality of life fully and directly. If you are interested in living your life to fullest, maybe it is better to face it heads on, to live it without medicating and dulling it with intoxicants. If you choose to avoid intoxicants, what else can you do to ease the pain and the anxiety we all experience? Though each person and the situation is different, some broad solutions are helpful to almost everyone. Stay physically and mentally active. Take time to get outside and take a walk. Play sports, work in a garden, throw a ball to your dog, or borrow a friend's dance run. Play music, your own or someone else. Join a club that does something you enjoy. Inside these groups, you may develop friendships that have nothing to do with getting stoned or high. Writing in journal, the reason so many people recommend journaling as a remedy to worries and the heart itch is because it's work. We learn things about ourselves when we write down our thoughts. Talk to friends face to face if you can. Share a little of your heart. Brainstorm ideas about how to talk to the cute guy, girl you are afraid to approach. If your parents are struggling or your job's not going so well, tell them. Be real. Limit TV screen time. Doing that is like a vacation for the mind. Free relaxation instead. Bake a cake. Create a budget. Finish the project you have been avoiding. Call a friend. Surprise. A voice instead of a text. And invite them to the dinner. Spend time in a nature alone with a friend or in a group. Sit by a river. Hike, paddle, or stand up. Board. Stroll through a park. Take a camera and explore the woods, mountains, and orchard, a flower garden. Spending time outdoors is naturally relaxing and especially great relief for both loneliness and the anxiety. But all these things only work if you choose to do them. Friends and family may pull you in opposite direction. You have conflicts, desires, you may have doubts about having friends and having being happy without drugs and alcohol. You will have lots of the sources of the advice in school, from the co-workers, online, from others people as well, but you are the only person who can resolve that conflict. What do you want out of life? What kind of life do you want? Give these questions a good thing. Your life, your choices, your consequences, not your friends, not your family. What's the right thing for you? You have to decide. Okay, thank you.